Hi, my name is Alejandro Pérez Pérez, and this is the AI Coffee Podcast. Every 2 weeks, you will have one disruptive aspect of technology and artificial intelligence for the time you drink a cup of coffee. This week, we are going to talk about visual recognition, a topic, a very interesting field that I think we have never talked in our podcast. For that, we have a very interesting guest. We have Pablo Blanco Poveda. Welcome, Pablo.
Hello. Nice to meet you. Nice to be here.
Thank you for being here, Pablo. I will present you a little bit before we start the conversation. So Pablo Blanco Poveda is the Regional Director of Spain and Latin American countries at Veesion, a company specialized into visual recognition with artificial intelligence. Well, Pablo, let's first talk a little bit about yourself, about your personal story, before we start talking about the topic itself. So, can you tell us a little bit your journey into the world of artificial intelligence?
Yes. So honestly, it was totally unexpected. Uh, at some point, I started drawing my interest. So I used to keep an eye on the news and the new applications, but just from an amateur point of view, you know. And I had the chance to start working in this company in Vision, whose product is based in AI technology. So I didn't hesitate to start in this company. Since then, my hobby is like part of my daily routine. Uh, I still like to be updated in AI technologies, but sometimes it's even a little bit difficult to be always on track. It's hard, but I try to do my best. Yeah.
It sounds that you are really passionate about artificial intelligence, and I agree that it's sometimes complicated to get in touch with so much information that we are now having right this year with
Exactly.
ChatGPT and all the rest. But I mean, your domain or the domain of the company you are working at is quite old. Actually, it's not like generative artificial intelligence that it's about a year. Visual recognition, it's older than that. So why? I mean, were you more interested on visual recognition or everything regarding AI, more or less, to also to understand better your point of view?
Yeah, no, honestly, for me, it was totally unplanned. Like I never thought about starting in this sector, but I don't know. It's a hobby that I had, and now it's my job. So I'm very happy with the actual situation. Yeah.
Yeah. Really great, Pablo. Also, when I was making a little research before having this conversation, I saw that you studied chemistry at university. Um, and I mean, it is like I mean, a big decision to change the path you are studying, the field. And even though I can imagine that there are many things in common, um, do you have any thoughts of after this change of your career?
Like I said, it's not something planned that I planned. Probably it's not in isn't somebody any plans. Like you start studying when you're 18, and in those days many things happen, and you don't know what you really want to do. I choose chemistry, which I quite like, but some opportunities arose. So new technology and especially AI are now everywhere. So it was a matter of luck, an accident actually, or destiny, as you want to call it. But it just happened, and I started. I had some knowledge as well, actually, and it helped. But I don't know. I don't have uh, like too much time, to be honest. Uh, but this is what I do now. Like I enjoy, and it turned to be a tendency today at every level. So for me, artificial intelligence now it becomes to be like my life, you know.
Yes, I can imagine. You know, I studied physics, so I can understand you a
Oh,
little bit that um, I mean, and I don't regret having studied physics because it was really interesting to understand how the world was created. I mean, created, how everything worked, how the rules of the universe, right? Everything about that. It was really interesting. And I think everything makes you improve yourself, and also the knowledge is there. And I can imagine that if you are able to understand, for example, in your case, a very complex chemistry reaction or chemical reaction or whatever, I can imagine that it also helps, even though there is a big distance, to maybe understand a very complex AI model, because it's very abstract way of thinking, and there is like many things in common. But do you think that you were, I mean, well, do you think that you arrived there more or less, I mean, it wasn't planned at all, as you said, but do you
Yeah.
think that what you studied was useful for you now?
Not really, not really. In my opinion, like now, I'm working in artificial intelligence, yes, but I'm more in the sales department. Like my goal is to develop the market, so it's not really related with chemistry.
Mhm,
Anyway, like it was good to study chemistry, but it's not really related.
mhm. And let's connect also to the next question I have, more about the universities. And you studied in Salamanca, right? That is a very relevant place to study in Spain. But do you think that maybe the universities should be more open to maybe, I don't know, study more transversal degrees, or maybe, for example, if you were able at that moment to study more about how to manage a company, for example, would that maybe be useful now?
Of course, like I think that's a big problem at the moment in education, and yeah, when you are 18, you don't sometimes yes, but sometimes no, you don't really know what you want to do. Like you don't really know what you want to study. Sometimes you choose something because your family tell you, or because it's like I don't know, the easiest way to study something, but it's not something that you really believe, and it will be good to have like more transversal way to move, uh, and always trying to find something that is interesting for you and you are good at.
Yeah. Yes, actually, well, we just talked a little bit before. You are now in the United States, and talking about the university, sometimes I think that it would have been really useful, even for me, or maybe for you, and maybe for many of people of the audience,
Mhm.
that the degrees could be more a little bit like the universities in the United States, that where you can study physics, but then in a physics degree you study maybe, I don't know, art, something in art, because maybe there are some connections that uh,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. And for example, in my case, when I was studying chemistry, like I never thought about business, about any of that. Like actually, I think I'm so good at business, for example, but it was not in my mind at all, and would have been great to know that is what I want to do. So maybe I would choose another degree, or who knows. But definitely, you are super young. Sometimes you don't really know what you want to do, and it's a problem of the education at the moment, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And what about the also, if we think in the, I mean, the company world and the entrepreneurship, for example, in Spain and in Europe or United States, I mean, you can talk where you can focus wherever you want, but what's your opinion about that? Like, do you think the university is maybe also maybe not connected to this world at all, or maybe a little bit, or maybe, I mean, what are your thoughts about that?
I think it's connected at some point, of course, because if you don't have a degree, many times it's difficult to get a job. But for example, in my department, which is sales, we don't really care that much of how many masters you have, how many degrees you have, or any of that. In sales, is a department that you need to show your results. You need to have other 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 qualities that we cannot really study. So it's not that connected. Obviously, if you have a degree and you have some education, obviously it's very needed, but it's not the main thing you have to show in a sales department, for example.
Mhm. What are for you the main skills to have for being part of the sales department?
Mm, I think the main one is actually hard work. You know, to work when you work hard, that overcomes any of all the factors. And if you take the right decisions and procedures, anything can be done. Like you can get anything that you want if you work hard. And me, I'm the proof of that. Uh, as I was saying at the beginning, I didn't know that I was good at selling at business, but I realized with time and with working hard, since the beginning, I started pushing so hard. So I get my opportunities and I start growing, 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 and without a stop, you can get huge results.
Yeah, and also I don't know if it was your case, but it would have been also for me like sales in general and selling usually something that is connected to many bad thoughts that are of course maybe fake, but in general maybe if you study for example chemistry or a science uh, domain, you are not really in like inside the sales thing, and you don't and you think that that's something for others, that is maybe for others that want to take money from others, or even like I mean non-ethical things maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but actually, it's really different. At least in my case, uh, selling Veesion is artificial intelligence. So we need to really explain to the people. It's something very new for them. But I always say when I speak to clients or to actual customers that we have, I always say that look, this is something that might help you. If you think it's not going to help you, I don't have the need to press you a lot. I'm not coming here for your money. Is that something that is going to help you to stop thefts? And if you don't want, of course, it's not a problem. I'm just here to giving you like the statistics and the opinion of why you might need this. But if you think it's not for you, is okay. And that's always the goal, like trying to do clean sales, as we call in our department. It's like not pressing too much to the customer. We are not here to steal the customers. We want good customers as well, because here in Vision, we sell a subscription. It's artificial intelligence, but it's a subscription. So we don't want someone that is going to be a bad customer. We want good customers that is going to be references to get more business, and that's the goal. That to increase the business, the best is to have happy customers, and that's what we try to get.
Hmm. Yes, and you mentioned now that I mean your company, the Vision. Can you maybe explain to the audience now? I mean, what's Vision and maybe the main applications of it?
Yes, yes. So I can explain in a very simple way. So Vision is a company that is going to detect thefts in the stores in real time. So how we do this? First is a server of this size that we connect directly to the internet router of the store. It goes to the DVR, it goes to the camera. So you don't need to change the camera, you don't need to do any new implementation, you don't need to change anything. And what we do is we analyze in real time the gestures that people are doing in the store. We detect when someone is doing a suspicious gesture, and we send an alert in real time. So you can see the video and you can stop this person before he leaves the store. That's always the goal, to stop the people before they leave the store. So it's like a software, it's a hardware as well, it's a whole system that's going to help you a lot on the loss prevention.
And maybe can you maybe explain it with an example? Like, for example, what if a person in a supermarket or in a
Mhm.
shop specifically, for example, takes a can of whatever and takes it to a bag, for example? How does it work, more or less?
Yeah, so I can explain you as well. Like, first of all, it's important to explain which kind of thefts we detect. Okay, first one, when someone takes an item from the store and they put it inside the pocket, inside the trousers, inside the jacket, all of this. Every time you do that, you will receive an alert in an application on your phone. Okay, or for example, when someone is eating or drinking in the store, when someone is they put an item inside the baby stroller, for example, or when they use the bag, or when they put the product in a backpack or something like this, you receive an alert. So, for example, imagine someone is in the store, they take an item, they put it in the pocket, boom, you at the moment you receive an alert on your phone. You can check this alert, you can see how he's stealing, and you can go directly to stop this person before he leaves the store. That's always the goal.
It sounds really interesting, but how quickly it is? Because I mean, I am used to work with data in my daily life, and I know that real time is sometimes not real time.
Difficult.
It's
Yeah.
difficult, yes. So, and I mean, real time could be like quickly enough. How quickly it is?
Yeah, normally it's quickly enough. So the latency normally is between 15 35 seconds, more or less. So in a normal store, you always have time to stop this person before he leaves. It depends as well on the quality of your internet, but normally is that on average I would say it's 20 seconds. So in 20 seconds, since that person takes the item inside the pocket until you receive the alert, it's time enough to stop this person.
Yes, it's more than enough because I was thinking that maybe 5 minutes would be enough. So less than half a
No,
sec, a
in five
minute.
minutes, normally the person is already at home.
Really? It is. Is
Yeah,
it
yeah,
so
yeah.
quickly? Okay.
Depending on the store, if it's a very big store, even 5 minutes can be good, but the time is very, very important. So
Hmm.
it's a very important, it's key, like as soon as you receive the alert, you have to see the phone, you have to see the alert and to stop this person. You have to be on alert to receive this message and to stop the thief. Yeah.
Hmm. And is it like something that when you, for example, you are selling it? So when you talk to the managers of the shops, of the main, supermarkets or whatever, do you think that this is something that is valuable enough for them?
Yes, yes. Normally, I speak directly with the store owners uh, or with the security department or something like this, and they love it. They actually love it since the beginning. It's something that since normally they before the meeting I have with them, they don't even know about this system. So it's something that I really introduced from the beginning, and yeah, they love it. Then as well, they need to try it. They always want to try. They always want to see how it works. So normally, something that I do is like, okay, let's go to this store that they have the system already. Let's do like some simulation theft. So we steal and let's see if they catch us. And it happens all the time. But yeah, from the beginning, they love it. The main problem I will say, the main difficulty I will say when I'm selling, it's sometimes they don't know how much they lose. Like they don't really count. They don't do like an inventory per month or per year at all, so they don't know how much they lose. So it's sometimes explaining them that they are losing money, that they don't realize that people are stealing, because always people are stealing the stores. So sometimes explaining that is a little bit hard to explain them, like, hey, normally on average 1% of the total facturation it goes to thefts. And so they say like, no, this is not my case, it's not in my store, and I know it is. Sometimes what I say is like, okay, so now if I go to steal, do you think someone is going to catch me? Do you think someone is going to stop me? And they say, probably not. Yeah, don't do it. Probably not. Yeah, probably you can steal. And it's something that they need to know. Like, people steal every day, and this system helps you a lot.
Yeah, it's true that it feels so complicated to sell something that do not have the real data because you cannot track until you arrive there. You cannot track
Exactly.
how big the problem is. Um, you mentioned some numbers, but I want also to know some other numbers about your system itself. About I don't know if you can say tell us more information about, for example, the AI models you use for recognizing the data, the images. How good they are.
Yeah. So one important explanation. Many people ask me like, so how many of the alerts are fake or false? Like important thing is like any of the alerts we send are fake. Okay, what we send are not theft alert. What we send is suspicious behavior, suspicious gesture. Like for example, imagine one woman is in the store, she takes a deodorant and she puts the deodorant inside the bag. Then she goes to the cashier and she pays for the product in the checkout. So you might think like that's a fake alert, that's false alert. It's not. It's a gesture that you wanted to know since the beginning. It's something that you need to reduce. Uh, After she paid for the product, yes, it's not a theft, but it's a suspicious gesture that is important. And as well, we always we are committed to reduce on a 60% the total loss that they have in the store. Normally, it's the 1%, so you can do your calculations. On average, it's 1%. They reduce on 60%, so it's always worth it. And and yeah, that's more or less the numbers. The numbers we've managed to stop. Normally, like I can tell you, like depending on the city, depending on the state here in US or in Spain, depending on the area, it can be more or less. But normally, I would say like on average, we stop between 5 to 10 thefts per week in the stores.
It's a big number, and and depending on the store, depending on the items themselves, it's a lot. It could be a lot of money. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, and that's something that I also need to explain. Like they're saying like, oh, yeah, this guy stole from me, but he stole like 3 4 euros, $3 4. It's not important, but like how important it is to stop this guy. If you don't stop this guy, this guy is gonna come back, right? You agree that with me? Like if this guy you don't manage to stop him, he's gonna come back probably tomorrow, next week. He's gonna come back, come back, come back, come back. And the problem is not it's not €3. I agree with you. It's not the problem. The problem is like there's three, and at the end of the year, it's thousands of dollars or thousands of euros that you are losing because of. And that's why you have a 1%. 1% is a lot of money, and you don't realize until you really count. For example, there are many stores, small stores, that we put the system, and in the first week they realized like they had customers that were buying from the store for 15 years, and then they catch them stealing. So you catch stealing this guy that was your customer for 15 years. So imagine how much money you lose just from this guy. Like he was doing the daily or the weekly.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So it's incredible, and sometimes it's hard to explain for them to realize that they have.
Um, do you make yourself maybe, and or even the supermarkets or shops ethical concerns about that? Because I think it could be many, maybe, I mean, it could be different on the kind of shop and the kind of item people steal, of course. Uh, but for me, it maybe it could be something that I will think a lot about. Like, should I stop a person that maybe steal uh, I mean, something for eating because maybe that's the only way this person could eat. I can imagine that that's a very tiny amount of people, but even though, do you have ethical concerns about that?
Yeah, like in my opinion, I think nobody steals just to eat. Like you have places in Spain and in these kind of countries, you have places to eat for free that you don't need to pay. Or even if all the owners I speak with, they tell me like if someone comes to me like saying, "Hey, I don't have money, I cannot buy any food," the owners are willing to pay them to give them food, to give them some food, but stealing is different. It's a crime, and we have to stop it. If you want to eat something, you can ask for it, and I can tell you, like all the owners are gonna say, yes, take this, take this, take this. They have things that they are not gonna sell, they are gonna throw away. So you can ask that, but that's my opinion. I think the steal is a crime, and we should stop all the things. Yeah.
Hmm. Yes, I get your point, and I think yeah, it could be the case that it's more the crime, of course, and also that it's also a lack of confidence. I mean, of trust. If you maybe ask for that, it's a completely a different point than directly stealing. Yes, I understand it. Let's move a little bit because I will also. I want also to know more about your experience as regional director of Veesion. If you could maybe share any talents that you have had recently or that you are going to have soon. Yeah, can you share with us this?
Yeah, there have been many challenges since I had to build the team from scratch from the beginning. So as well, it's important to adapt all the systems and all the procedures that we have inside the company to the Spanish and Latin culture, which, as we all know, it's from Europe. It's very different sometimes. Uh, and yeah, and also like I don't know, sometimes to explain the AI, to explain the technology, you have to deal with many things. You have to deal, for example, in Latin America, you have to deal with the financial gap. It's a huge difference. The financial gap is huge in between Spain and Latin America, for example. And but it's part of my job to deal with all of this. And I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So it's been good. But yeah, I had many challenges with this in this position.
I can imagine, and also to make audience for the audience to make more context. Vision is a French company, right? Like is quite recent. It's not an startup because it has. I mean, it's not so recent, but it's quite recent, right?
Yeah, like the company started in 2018. Uh, we started developing France first. Is our main country right now as well. Like almost every store in France have the system already. And then the second one I will say is Spain. We have around 500 stores in Spain already equipped, supermarkets, cosmetics, electronics, all of that. And yeah, we started in France. It's a French company. The headquarters are in Paris. But then we started Spain, Italy, Portugal, Netherlands, the rest of the countries, and is like moving very fast actually. And the last step we are doing at the moment is US. Is the next challenge. We are in the United States. We have already like 100 stores equipped in US, and it's going very good. There is as well a huge financial gap between Europe and US. But every company wants to go to US. Every company wants to sell in US. Is the main market where you want to develop your product. Uh, and yeah, it's moving like that at the moment.
And I really need to ask you something. Do people in Spain steal more, for example, than in other countries, or yeah?
Not really. It really depends on the area. It really depends on the type of the store. The type of store. Um, Not really. I will say the countries with more thefts is in Latin America, but as well it costs less. Sorry. So not really. There are thefts everywhere, and Spain is there are many thefts in Spain actually, but it's like not way more than other countries.
Mhm. Okay, and now I have. I mean, when I was thinking about this program, one of the main questions that I had, and probably one of the main questions that you have been asked for about the product itself, is about data privacy. As you are thinking, you said really quickly that it is connected to the cameras that exist already in maybe most of the shops already. Um, but how are you guaranteeing that the data, the private data of people stealing their faces and so on, is private and is complained with all the data regulation, for example, in Europe?
That's a very good question, and yeah, I've been asked these kind of questions every day. At the beginning, we were just working with independent stores, and they don't care much about this. But when you work with big corporation, like for example, now we are going to do a pilot with Walmart, we are going to do a pilot with big companies in Spain as well. So we need to explain many things. There are many departments that we need to pass. So we need to explain all of this. So the main thing to understand that Veesion is not doing facial recognition. Okay, that's something very important. So we analyze the gestures of the people in the store. We don't identify these people from the face. We don't do any body recognition. Okay, we don't do any biometric recognition. So we don't really know if it's someone tall, if it's small, if it's old, the race, whatever. We don't really identify that. What we do is gestures. Okay, that's something very important. Like imagine someone goes to the store, they steal. Okay, we send the alert. But if this person come back again to this same store the next day, we are not going to send an alert. But if he steals, we will send a new alert. Why? Because we are analyzing the gestures, not we are not identifying the people. Okay, that's something very very important to explain, and to pass all these data privacy is very important. And as well, we don't save any videos. So how we you maybe your question is like how you increase the algorithm if you don't save videos. Okay, so what we save is a numerical representation of the video. Okay, and we add that to the algorithm, so it's growing all the time and it's increasing the quality. It's called deep learning, so it's increasing all the time. More stores we have, better is the algorithm. So the fifth, we save the numerical representation that cannot go back to the video again. So we save that into the algorithm, and it's improving like this. And at the moment we have 3,000 stores, so the algorithm has a very very good quality and stopping the thefts everywhere.
That's a very wise way of doing, because you anonymize somehow the people, because that's not important,
Mhm.
relevant. What is important is how they move, how they take the items, how they behave
Exactly.
exactly. And also, I think it's also really wise because you keep the only the relevant information, and also for the model creation, I think it's even better because it cannot be biased for maybe the race or I mean the age of the person. It's completely taking directly the representation of the movements. Yes, yes, it's really, really, really interesting.
And as well as we analyze the gestures, we analyze as well the behaviors, as you're saying. Like, for example, imagine someone is in the store and they are looking at the cameras all the time. That's suspicious. That's what we call in Spain merudeo, no?
Menudeo,
Merodeo,
yes.
merodeo, yes.
Ah,
So when someone is looking at the cameras all the time, that's suspicious. We don't send an alert because someone is looking at the cameras, okay? But the system is going to focus more on this person. Or like, for example, when someone is in the store and they take items like very fast, like imagine boom, 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 nobody's buying this fast. So that's as well a suspicious behavior, like why this guy is taking the items this fast. Maybe it's stealing. So the system is like focusing more on this person or on the gestures of this person thanks to the behavior.
yeah. Sometimes I don't know why, but for example, in Spain, in small shops, it is like that. Like people follow you, and I feel really like stressful because there is a person looking at me all the time and so on. So I'm thinking, am I acting correctly? And maybe I'm not, because I'm just nervous, and maybe that's the case for anyone. How can you? I mean, you said at the beginning that you have suspicious alerts, but I think it's really bad if you, for example, send a suspicious alert to the cell phone of the person working there, and this person, depending on the way this person behaves with the customers, it could be really unpolite. How can you handle this?
Mhm. Yes. So the good thing is like the alerts we are sending, like is showing the video of this person stealing or doing this suspicious gesture. So the first thing you need to do, like when you receive an alert, is to check the video. So you check the video, you see what this person is doing, and you go with this video. So it's not the idea is not to create conflict, is to avoid this conflict. So you can speak with this person, but instead of telling like, "Hey, what you have in your bag? Open your bag right now." You go with the video and you do like, "Hey, I had this video where you are putting something inside your bag. Please, like, just pay for this. You don't need to do that. Oh, if you're buying on your bag, like, don't buy on your bag. You have like cards or you have other things to buy. Don't use your bag because we might think you are stealing. So you go with the video and you show the video. So that's very positive. At the
Mm,
moment, what they are doing, they have to follow you every time in the store. Why? Because they have cameras, but nobody looks at the cameras. Every store, in every part of the world, they have cameras in the store, but nobody's looking at the cameras. So
mm.
they have like a expensive equipment in the store that they don't use at all. Like there's nobody looking at the screen checking the cameras all the time. So a system that monitor the cameras for you, it's super super useful.
Yes, and
We are gonna
you,
buy
you
it.
yes, for my home. No,
Eh?
actually, I mean, for my home, if you do something for the birds, because there is like a lot of birds coming to the terrace, and if you could detect them and send me an alert, that could be really really great.
That's the future. That's the next one.
That's the future. But coming back to the point, you said something that it's really also good that like an advice for me because I'm one of these guys that takes a bag, like a rucksack or something like a normal bag, and I take all the items there. And now I know that if there is your system, maybe I will be once told by someone in the shop that maybe I'm a thief. So now I will take the standard things to carry all the items and so on. Yeah, it's relevant that. Okay, one more question. Maybe I mean it's something that it's not already done. It's not public. It's not finished. But you know that in Europe, in the European Union, there is like a lot of debates now at the end of the year about the AI regulation, so the AI Act. Most of the things you are doing are based on artificial intelligence, and also most of your customers are in Europe as well, as you said, you're in France, in Spain. Um, do you think that the I mean, Veesion, your company, and the product is compliant with this regulation?
Yes, of course. Like at the moment, we're complying with all the rules, with all the regulations. That's why we're working with big companies. Big companies before I start working with you, they do like a whole check of the company, like cybersecurity wise, um, like data protection wise, all of that. They check everything, and if you don't comply with all of that, they don't start working with you because they don't want to get in trouble. So at the moment, yeah, I can tell you, like, I can guarantee you, like, we pass all the rules, and we can. That's why we can work. If not, it's impossible right now.
Yes, I agree. And I mean, I don't know by the time it is going to be public this episode because maybe it is going to be already approved. Now it's not, so we cannot even know. So yeah, it's complicated, but at the same time, I think they are not going to public, and then the next day everything should be directly like it is mandatory. So maybe there is like a time to adapt everything in case you do.
I guess so. Yeah, we will see. Like,
Mm.
we have ways to pass it. So I think it's
Mhm.
gonna be fine. We're not worried about that.
Yeah. And one question that I usually ask people at the end of the interview, because we are more or less ending, is if you could give a piece of advice to someone that maybe is interested on following your steps, following a career in AI,
Mhm.
but in a similar position than yours, because that's also quite specific, right? That you are selling AI, working directly with customers, like in a director position as well. So, what advice could you give to a person there?
Well, I think, as I said earlier, like, you have to be sure that what you are getting into, like, and be ready and willing to work hard, you know, as well as think smart and ask for advice from the right people when you really need it. It's also very important. other than that, it's not like there is not much to say. Like I don't think I'm not. I think I'm not Elon Musk or something like this to give many advices. But it's just that, yeah, like find something that you like and you are good at, and go for it with everything. I think that's the best advice I could give.
Good advice. I like the last part. Like find something you like and go for it. Yes, and that's
And you
true.
are
And
good at is important. Like you need to be good, because if you like it and you are not good at, you're gonna have problems. But if you like it and you're really good at, go for it, and you will have great results.
hmm, that's true. But I don't agree. I don't agree. If you like it,
No,
at the end of the day, you work a lot on that, or you take a lot of time on improving yourself. So at the end of the day, even if you are not good at the beginning, you could develop also yourself and be better. So
no, that's true.
maybe you need to be good at the end of the day, but or good enough, but still, even if you think that, I don't know, AI, for example, it could be very
Mhm.
complex. Yes, it could be, but
To start, yeah.
I mean, you just need to start little by little. There's like a lot of things everywhere, so little by little, and maybe one day you are good enough to try something, to develop something, and yeah, maybe yeah. But I think you also agree, right? Now with
No,
this.
no, I totally agree with you. Yeah.
Okay, great. So we are finishing. Pablo, I don't know if you want to say a couple of words more about your company. I don't know, whatever.
Not really. Like I think I explained more or less everything.
Yeah, that's good because it feels like you explain a lot of things, a lot of valuable and I think rich points for the audience. So thank you very much. Just two questions to finish. I make them together so you can answer them quickly, or I mean, take your time. But the first one is, how can the audience contact you if they want maybe to know more about you, about the company, about the product, or whatever. And also, another relevant question that I ask at the end is, how do you like coffee? Because this is the AI Coffee podcast, and yeah, it's a good question also to finish.
Okay, so how to contact me? I think the best way is LinkedIn. I'm Pablo Blanco, and you can find me in LinkedIn. You can search for Veesion. It's like this. You can search for Veesion, and you can search Pablo Blanco and drop me a message. And I check that on a daily basis, so I will be keen to answer. And my favorite coffee. I don't know if I should say that, but I'm not really into coffee. Like usually, I don't drink coffee on a daily basis unless I really need to boost myself. And even so, I think I would prefer to choose an energetic drink. I think it's too sour for my taste. But however, I think it counts like a type of coffee. I really enjoy having a espresso martini every now and again. Yeah.
Okay. You know, you are the first person saying in this podcast that you don't like coffee, but I don't know if the
I
rest.
say espresso martini is fine.
Okay, yeah, it could be
So
like yeah for late nights, right? Yeah, but yeah, okay, I take it, and that's new. No one said that before, so yeah, good to know. Okay, so Pablo, it was a pleasure having you here. I think I have learned a lot of things, what to do and not to do now in a supermarket. And I think also for the audience, I think they are going to be happy listening that there's like things in visual recognition and how, I mean, everything is done. So I think it was really interesting. Yeah. How do you feel?
yeah, thank you so much for having me here. For me, it was a really like a pleasure as well. Uh, and if someone has any doubt, any question about the system, about the company, about me, just don't hesitate. Go to my LinkedIn and then drop me that question, and I will be happy to answer everyone. Thank you for your time, Alejandro, and I will keep seeing this podcast grow.
Thank you. And thank you also you that you are listening, watching this episode for being one more episode here. If you liked it, please subscribe to the podcast, to the AI Coffee newsletter, and see you soon. Bye bye.